You're listening to The Dangerous Mind of Mark Yoshimoto Nemcoff. No excuses, no BS, no pants.
Do the plus 10 dB and minus 10 dB settings on the Lauten Clarion make a tonal difference? Let's find out. So what you're hearing right now is the mic in what I would call the default position. It's on 0 dB. No pad, no gain, right? So it's the middle setting on the switch on the side of the mic. And so you're listening to it in straight up cardioid, with no pad, no boost. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put on the pad, and all right, so that's the pad. So this is minus 10 dB, and obviously, you know, it sounds like it has a pad on it. It sounds almost like I threw a pillow over it. But let's add 10 dB of gain. So without it, I had 40 dB of gain on it. So let's up that to 50. Let's see, hold on, let me get that dialed in there. All right, so this is 50 dB of gain. And does it sound different? Does it tonally sound different from the default setting? So let's set it back to the default setting. We'll go back and forth, and we'll try to gauge if there's enough of a sonic difference that we can hear it. All right, and here we are back on the normal setting. Yeah, I do hear a difference. I definitely hear a difference. You know, here, this is the sound that I'm used to working with on the, 0 dB setting. This is the sound I've been working with for a while. So how would I describe the difference? Let's go back. Let's go back again to the minus 10 dB setting and then boost the preamp 10 dB. All right, so here we are at minus 10 dB with a 10 dB boost on the preamp to essentially give it the same level. But does it have a different tone because we are loading the preamp more? We are using more of the preamp, so we're getting more preamp sound in the overall signal, in the blend between the mic and the preamp. And I would say overall, it's a little bit of a thicker sound. It is for sure, definitely, it's a different tonality. It's a little bit softer, a little bit rounder around the edges, and a little bit thicker overall, a little bit more vintagey, actually. And then here we are back on the default setting, and I think for sure, this sounds a little bit more modern. So that's interesting. That's really interesting because I think also this is going through the MT-48's built-in preamps, which are pretty clean, but I'm starting to realize that the coloration on the MT-48 makes them not clinical. So overall, right, this is a cleaner sound. And if I was using a preamp with more coloration, like a Neve or an API-style preamp. If I was using a preamp that had transformers in it, I think that the minus 10 dB setting would make you drive the transformers, drive the circuit of the preamp harder. So you're going to get more coloration, more tone of the preamp overall. So that's pretty cool. I really like it. You're not really losing the overall character of the sound. What you're doing is you're relying more on the preamp. It's thickening. The capsule feels less sensitive. I'm guessing, I believe I read somewhere that the boost and the pad are all pre-FET. So it may have something to do with changing the polarization, the voltage that is going to the capsule backplate. And if that's the case, then reducing the voltage to the capsule backplate will make the capsule less sensitive. And that's what it kind of felt like was happening. So that's interesting. So definitely it's a less sensitive, more vintagey. And when I say vintagey, I mean, it's a little bit less detailed capture. So that's pretty cool. You can get to sound more vintagey with a minus 10. So I have a lot of high hopes here for what plus 10 is going to do. Let's check it out. So again, you're listening to the Clarion at the 0 dB setting. So let's push it that 10 dB, and then I'm going to reduce the preamp by 10 dB. All right, we have set the Clarion at plus 10 dB, and I have reduced the gain on the preamp by 10 dB. So we're getting an equal level signal to before, but it's different. It definitely feels more aggressive. I can see this really as more like a promo tone, because if indeed it is happening through the capsule backplate polarization, increasing the capsule backplate voltage will make the mic more sensitive, and it will also enhance more high-end. which is kind of it. I almost feel like you're getting really a lifted high end, a little bit less in the lows, but you're getting like it's more of an intensity. Like it really feels a little bit more detailed. It's really this. I can see this as a promo tone. So let's go back. Let's go back to the 0 setting to compare. All right, here back on the 0 setting, and you can really hear more of that low and low mid come back in, and a little bit less of that higher mid presence. It feels like what we've done when we go to that plus 10 dB setting is it like tilts the balance of the tone a little bit more trebly, and I feel like there's less of this mid-range purr in here, and it kind of rides a little higher. So here again is 0 dB. Let's go back to the plus 10 dB. And here we are back on plus 10 dB. Yeah, this would definitely be like a promo tone. You could definitely use this. So this is really interesting because what I'm hearing is three different microphones, really. And that's the amazing thing about this. So, the Atlantis has 3 different tonal settings as the gentle, neutral, and forward. But I feel like you're also getting something very similar with the minus 10, the 0 dB, and the plus 10 dB settings. It's definitely forward, right? But I think this is definitely more aggressive. So you're getting something that feels like ultra modern. This almost has like, this really has kind of like that airy top end that you would get from the Sony C800. Really, it kind of feels more like that it has more of that pop top end. That's what it is. So this is like a pop vocal sound. And a lot of people love this sound for voiceover, So this is pretty cool. So this is more like, again, like akin like to a manly reference cardioid or a mic like that. Mics that, again, that you would think of for modern pop vocal. So that's pretty cool. So now let's go to the minus 10 dB setting with plus 10 dB on the preamp. All right, here we are on the minus 10 dB setting. Yeah, I mean, this definitely sounds more vintagey, especially compared to the plus 10 dB setting. So this is really cool. I had not realized this before. As I continue to discover more and more what this mic is capable of, I'm just more and more impressed all the time. I am truly sad that I had not had these mics on my radar earlier, and I blame the forums for misinforming me. I blame misinformation on the forums. Yeah, there's a lot of praise for them. But you know what? I think that overall, these mics are so much better, especially for voiceover. No, how come voiceover people aren't flocking to these mics? That's what I want to know. All right, let's go back to the 0 dB setting. Let's go back to default. All right, here we are back on the default 0 dB setting. I love this sound. I love this sound, and it has been very effective from a business perspective, let's just say. I really do wish I had gotten on the Lauten audio train earlier. I really do. It would have saved me from buying a bunch of mics that I might have to all sell now. So, all right, so what do you think? What do you think of these 3 tones that you're getting out of the Clarion with just the pad and the boost? I did not expect it to be that much of a variation between them. I'll be honest with you. I thought it would be a little bit of a closer contest, but there's definitely more daylight between them than I had anticipated. So what do you think, though? What do you think? What are you thinking about the Lauten Clarion? I am head over heels for this mic. I really am. So, but I want to know what you're thinking. Are you digging it? Let me know. All right. Until next time, this is Mark Yoshimoto Nemcoff, fading to black.